Hello everyone, how's it going, and welcome back to a brand new live stream. Today, we're going to be trying to calculate the best Fixonium recipe. Again. Yep, essentially, there's some parts of it that I actually thought were rather good, but I want to redo it, make it easier to read, easier to understand, and very slightly better. But without further ado, again, thank you to everyone who's watching live, who, again, the stream's only just started, so hopefully a few more people are going to tune in. But regardless, if you guys are watching on the VOD when the stream's already over, then don't worry, I should be live again on potentially even Sunday. I want to try and upload a video tomorrow, another best recipe video, because again, we're so back. Then on Sunday, hopefully I'll be live again. I don't know what I'll be doing, but we'll have to wait and see. Regardless, let me try and explain the plan for today's stream, because it is rather a lot, but let's just get straight into it. So essentially, now I've downloaded the Myro app, where I want to try and make things look a lot neater. And again, this will make no sense. You haven't seen this just yet. Again, tune into tomorrow's video to understand what exactly this is. But essentially, the way that I've done things here, if I can zoom in, again, my mouse is still broken, my headset's still broken, my PC is still a little bit broken. I'm not paying like $3 grand to get that all fixed though. So what I'm going to try and do in this updated version of the plan is I'm going to be changing all the colors of our raw materials. So water is going to be dark blue, iron's going to be light blue, but what about the other colors? Well, as a few of you already know, I've got an Excel spreadsheet where I'm calculating every single item in the game, whether it's got a basic or alternate recipe, what's the recipe's name, and the ingredients that it has. And everything here is also color-coded to show the ingredients I'm using. So essentially, I want to replicate this. What we see over here, I want to replicate that here onto this app. So again, water, dark blue, and then light blue for iron ore. Where is it? There we go. And same thing over here as well. Iron ore is a light blue, water is a dark blue. And excited matter is like a light blue. We'll have to wait and see what we're going to be doing with that one. Welcome, Dirk. Hope that you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, the border. Moving over to Twitch. Yeah, that's no problem. Don't worry. And of course, we are going to be using wiki.gg to be making sure that all the recipe power and resource consumption is all definitely correct. So we're going to make sure that's all good. In case you don't know, this is how I essentially calculate all of my power. Let's say this machine, the quantum encoder, uses 100% of its... Actually, this is a really bad example because it fluctuates. Let's say, for example, a constructor uses 100% of its... Overdrive, right? It means it's going to consume 4 megawatts, but if it only uses 50%, it's only going to consume 2 megawatts. So there's no point me calculating 4 megawatts of every constructor when they're only going to be consuming 2 megawatts each. So I've got to make sure all of that's definitely correct, which is a lot more difficult to do when it comes to the particle accelerator, the quantum encoder, and the converter. 3 machines I haven't actually used yet in the game. But yeah, so when it comes to them three, because again, the power fluctuates, it doesn't remain constant, which is really annoying, but hey-ho, it is what it is. Regardless, that is the plan. It is going to be a rather fun stream. It's going to be a rather long stream as well. I want to try and go live for at least 2 hours. We've got a lot of work to do. The only concern I've got is that whenever I do these best recipe streams, it can be very mentally draining. Because I'm constantly doing maths essentially for 2.5 hours. Sometimes even 3 hours. So, let's see how that's going to go. And hopefully, maybe even Sunday, we do some sort of like exploration stream over on our 1.0 save to hunt for some Mercer spheres, power slugs, potentially Somos loops, and of course, crash sites. Since we're only a few crash sites away and hard drives away, I'm actually scanning every possible alternate recipe in the game that I've got up to so far. So basically everything before Phase 5. So I'm very, very happy with that. How do I tell them I almost got expelled? Oh dear. What did you do? Almost got expelled. I mean... No comments. I don't know how. How? Also, let me just move this over to my side monitor just so I can get all the colors noted down. So the way that I'm going to try and do this is select a frame. Do a custom frame. Why would you... I'm raging. There we go. Zoom in a little bit like that. Great. The next thing that I then want to try and do is select these squares right here. Actually, do I want to do circles or squares? You know what? Triangles. I don't give triangles enough credit in this game, so let's do a bit of triangle action. Wow. So crude oil is just going to be dark black. Okay. There we go. Then we're going to have some text here on the side that says crude oil. Without the capital there in the end. Fantastic. So that's going to be the color of crude oil, essentially. It's as simple as that. Although I do actually want to try and change you. No, that's fine. Probably just a bit of boldness. There we go. Who doesn't love a good bit of bold? No. Hello? There we go. Next one's uranium, which is going to be a dark green. Okay. A dark green action. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Dark green action. Also, that's way too thick. There we go. Make that as the least thick I can possibly make it. Brilliant. And you're going to line up with that. Fantastic. Teaching you science. Yeah, this game does require a few brain cells, which I kind of like, because it makes me feel like I'm actually doing something worthwhile. But at the same time, though, it does hurt my brain sometimes, but in a good way. It's like a good type of pain. You know what? Let's do this. Big change. The biggest change you've ever seen. So you're gonna be like dark blue. Which, to be fair, was the sort of original idea. I don't know why I didn't just commit with this. There we go. It is a little bit more difficult to read, but I can still read it. You know, it's not the end of the world. If it was the end of the world, then that would be a bit of a shame. I would rather the world ended after I finished doing my best recipe series. Because at least we can end on a high note, right? You know, positivity. Oh, dearie me. So yeah, you're going to be... Run? Oh yeah. That was my French impression. Sorry to any French people watching. It's not fun anymore. They haven't updated it in 2 years. I saw that they added a ranked mode. I was on Epic Games, and I saw that there was some sort of like competitive or ranked thing. I don't remember if there was ranked before. Like my brain's just wiped like the last 3 years of my life, so I can't remember much from the game. But that sounded interesting. You're gonna be water, actually. There we go. Welcome, Glitch. Hope that you're doing good. Yeah, crude oil is just going to be represented here as just dark. The only bad thing about it, though, is that if I've got text here, and the background's going to be black, then you can't actually see the text. But I can very easily just do a little bit of that. Which, if anything, actually makes it easier to read. So I think that'll be fine. Haven't got too many dramas about that. And then the last blue that I'm going to use is going to be for you, which is excited. Excited. Chat, you don't see that. There we go. Protonic matter. There we go. No one saw me misspell that. Good. The next color is going to be... Why do I keep doing... Oh dear. Copper. Copper's red. Why is copper red? That's a very good question. I don't know. In fact, how's that going to look? I think what I might even do, if I can zoom out without my mouse... I am like 4 days away from chucking my mouse against this wall. It's been broken like this now for approaching 3 months. 3 months. And I still haven't done anything about it. That looks completely fine. Yeah, I've got no problems with that. So you're going to be copper. And the bloody accent. There we go. Copper. No. There we go. What next? Limestone. Limestone's like a light yellow. Okay. We've got 2 yellows. We've got... Oh, in fact, that's actually perfect. I can go with that for Ethereum. this for limestone, then that for sulfur. Okay, so in that case, we'll do sulfur first. There we go, because they've all actually got quite similar looking colours, so I might as well just do that. In case you're wondering what list I'm following, by the way, this is an Excel spreadsheet I made a bit earlier, so I'm just trying to replicate this, so it makes this part a bit easier to understand, and I can just boop that information across to this site, which is quite nice. Welcome, Maximus, hope that you're doing good, welcome. Welcome to the stream. The dark blue green, I can't change the colors now, because again, if I change the colors here, I have to change all of these colors as well, and that's just like an extra 20 minutes worth of work that I don't particularly want to do. If it was like important for me to do, I would do it, but it's not a massive thing. I've already done it now. Then you're going to be Caterium, then you're going to be like that. Brilliant, okay. What's next? I feel like I've missed one. I have coal. Coal is like a grey sort of colour. Obviously, I can't use black again. I'd like to, but can't. It's against the law that I've invented. Fantastic. Next. We have got bauxite. Bauxite is like a... Ooh. It's a bit like what I've used for Caterium, if I'm honest. Yeah, we'll go with that for bauxite. I feel like that's fairly accurate. Sure. Just very quickly, let me just do this. Bit better. We've done coal, copper, water. We've done water? Yeah, we have. Okay, good. Next up, we've now got raw quartz, which is pink. I feel like it makes sense. We haven't really used a pink yet. Yeah, we'll go with... that's a bit more red than what I like. There isn't really a pink. That's like the closest pink we've got. It's a bit faint, but you know what? We'll take it. I can always change it. Wait, sorry. I can always change it a bit later if I really want. As of right now, it's not a problem. There we go. Yeah, inventing... Yeah, we are inventing some laws today. Only today. What's next? Nitrogen gas is also a grey, so coal is actually a bit of a darker grey. Like that. Okay. Then you're going to be... Okay, that's decent, I suppose. Sure. Perfect. Next, we've then got Sam. Sam's like a purplish, and that's our last one, I think. Perfect. That's actually really good. Strange alien metal. Actually, no, they removed the dots, didn't they? Now it's just literally called Sam. Because I believe, originally, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Sam stood for strange alien metal or material, I think. Strange alien metal, strange alien material. But now I think it's just called Sam. I think. But regardless, there we go. That's nice and important for us to do. I don't think there's anything else I want to do in regards of that. That was kind of everything. Well, not for like the entire stream. I'm not going to end the stream after, what, 5 minutes? 14 minutes, damn. Oh, it was material. Ah, okay. I thought it was one of them. Okay, you're just going to return to be... actually, wait. There we go. Do a little bit of that. Welcome, Paul, by the way. Hope that you're well. Good. Increase you by a little bit. Fantastico. So the recipe we'll be starting off with, again, I've just butchered my third accent of the stream. So far, we're on track of butchering one accent every 5 minutes. This is not great. This is... Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, Fixonium fuel rods. That's what we're doing today. But essentially, to calculate our Fixonium fuel rods, we are also going to be calculating plutonium fuel rods and uranium fuel rods. So we're actually going to be able to see which one's best. The obvious answer is Fixonium fuel rods. It, you know, gives you the the most power by far, and it consumes, in theory, uranium waste and plutonium waste, because the uranium waste goes into plutonium, and the plutonium waste goes into the Fixonium, so it kind of consumes both. So, again, on theory, on paper, this is the best one. But it might not necessarily be. And I will be making a video talking about this. The video will be titled something along the lines of, is Fixonium fuel rods worth it in Satisfactory 1.1? And I'm also going to be making another video about Fixonium titled, the best recipe for Fixonium fuel rod, where I essentially break down everything that we're doing today into a shorter format, and that's a bit easier to understand, but today we're doing all the maths behind it. So that should be fun though. Regardless, let's boot up Satisfactory, which I've already done since it takes about 3 to 5 business years to actually boot up my app now, which is a bit of a shame. And again, we are doing 20 of these per minute, which is a rather decent sized chunk, but it is what it is. So we're going to need 40 Fixonium. Damn. In fact, can I, like... No, I can't. Okay, that's fine. That was just a pipe dream right there. There we go, 40 per minute. Oh, I hate when it keeps resetting that. There we go. Gee, didn't I change this to... I do actually prefer that. Because again, you will see this in tomorrow's video, but I think this looks a lot neater, a lot smoother, a lot cleaner to understand. So I'm definitely going to be sticking with this sort of layout compared to what I had before. Like I was mentioning in the video I released yesterday, I do want to try and improve this series, make things look a little bit neater and nicer to understand, if I can. And I definitely can here, so I'm going to be doing so. We also need 40 electromagnetic control rods. Okay. Not too bad. Electromagnetic control rod. Did I spell control? Oh, right. I see the problem here. It's a big name, isn't it? That's a massive name. Fixite trigons, that is 800? That's correct. No. Sorry, I surprised myself there for a minute. Fixite trigons 800. Damn. Okay. Reduce the size of you there a little bit. Perfect. And the last one is 400 excited photonic matter, which is really simple to make. All you got to do is place down a converter and it produces it automatically, which is fantastic. I don't believe there's a way to fully automate the photonic matter. I believe it actually does it. Can you? Wait, just double check. Because of course you can produce it from the converter. I don't know if it's a byproduct for anything as well. No, it's not. Okay. And of course, every recipe that then involves the excited photonic matter then produces the dark matter residue, which is pretty cool. I like it, at least. Let's link all of them up like so. Brilliant. And again, this just looks a lot neater to me. Oh dear, except when it does that. And it's not neat. There we go. Yeah, we'll take that. Of course, we are going to be moving and expanding all of these little segments here as well, because like Fixonium by itself takes an extremely long time to actually work out, which is the very first thing that I'm going to be starting off with, is the actual Fixonium itself. Fixonium gives hardly any power, yeah. That's why I'm a bit concerned with it, because, like, it's not bad, necessarily. Like, if you can recycle both your plutonium and uranium waste into the Fixonium, it makes it rather good. But what you could also do is just go to the edge of the world and then just store it in some random ditch and then never see it ever again, which is probably a better way to be dealing with uranium waste. But this is new. It's still new to me, so I still want to try and do all of this calculation to then answer, like, definitively, is it worth it? Also, power. I will be keeping track, by the way, of every single little bit of power we are consuming in this recipe, which is probably going to take me, like, an additional couple hours to do. But, oh well. So, quantum encoder. Let's see. Yeah, this is going to require a lot of extra work here, but it's okay. So, 2.5, we average about 1,000 megawatts there. Make 2.5, and we're making 20. We have to do 20 divided by 2.5, which I can just do in the app actually, can't I? It's 8. So 8,000. We are averaging 8,000 to 16,000 megawatts worth of consumption just for this very first part of the recipe. 16,000 megawatts. That's ridiculous. Oh well. But the average is 8k. That's what I'm going to be working out today. And then the little AV next to it will just signal the average, essentially. That's still rather nuts. And you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to go one step further and then calculate the maximum, which of course is going to be 16,000. There we go. I'll do this as well. Thank you, by the way, for the comments correcting me on my megawatts typage, if that's even a real word, because I used to spell it out like that, but now I've been corrected that it's actually that, so thank you for that. The font looks different. Yeah, the font is different. Before, I think I was using just Arial, like that, but now we're using... Oh, actually, what was I using? This one. It looks very slightly different, but I really prefer it. It makes it pop out a little bit more, in my opinion, so that's what I will be continuing to use. Regardless, that's our very first thing done. Next up, we've now got Fixonium. Ooh. Yep. Actually, how much dark matter residue am I making from this? If I go back to you, 400. That's not right. Actually, no, it is right. I did one thing incorrect a bit earlier on. There we go. I said that I needed 800 exciphotonic matter, but I only needed 400. So now this makes sense. Okay. That's 400 dark matter residue. Let's change you to our classic circle. What color haven't I used? I've used everything, haven't I? We'll do a bit of that. Why not? Let's turn you into an actual circle. What have I done there? Dark matter residue. 400 per minute. That is correct. There we go. No, I want to try and make sure that all the words are on the same line. In fact, if I do want to do that, this is probably not the best shape to use, is it? What should we go with? Go with a sticky note. We do that? Wow. Isn't that kind of average, actually? And I can't really change... Okay, you know what? That's okay. It does what I need it to do. Actually, no, it doesn't. You know what? We'll just go with this for now. There we go. I can plop you in right there. It's just like more work than I should be doing, probably. But I like it. Wow. Beautiful. I spend so much time doing useless things like that. This is why these streams take 3 hours and I accomplish nothing. Oh well. Is that Mr. Pickle? No. I am... Dr. Eggman. Can't you tell by my bald cut and my moustache? Moustache must have been a giveaway, surely. I mean, like, come on. Like, look at that. It's okay. I can understand the confusion. So yeah, again, Fixonium. Where do you even make this? The particle... Oh, really? You? No. That must be a mistake. It's not. Okay. Right. Here you are. And we need 40. So if I just do 4, I can then just add a 0 to everything. It just makes life a lot easier. I could do 10, then times it all by 4, which luckily I do know my 4 times table. But Adding a 0 to everything, that just makes life a bit easier. Starting off with plutonium waste. Okay. And we need 40 of that. It's not too bad. So 1-to-1 ratio. Same with singularity cells, which doesn't sound too bad, but making 40 singularity cells per minute is, as you're gonna find out, not very fun. Also, let's move this down here a little bit. Yeah, it's it's different, alright, that's for sure. Why do you annoy me? Okay. Singularity cells. The last thing that we then need, I believe, was dark matter residue. No idea how much though. 800, damn. That's not even too bad, to be fair. Because you can make dark matter residue rather easily, I believe, as well. If you go to the converter, you can make it using SAM. Again, it's been such a long time since I've really messed around with this. Aye, there you go, reanimated SAM, which are then just made from SAM. I wish there was like an alt recipe for making SAM though, which I don't believe there is. No. I wish, for example, it was like a very expensive recipe. Like, rather than 120 SAM being used to make 30 reanimated SAM, if it was like 100 or 90 SAM plus 100 iron ingots to then make 30 reanimated SAM. So you save a little bit, like a quarter of the SAM. Plus you need a lot more iron, but then you get a good amount of reanimated SAM. I feel like when I did my previous calculations, this was one thing that I just didn't have enough of for anything. So, yeah. Maybe we'll add it. Don't know. Don't know. You just started working out 10 plutonium fuel per minute. Oh, nice. Yeah, that should be fun to do. Absolutely. 10 singularity cells per pasta. Yeah, it could be worse. Absolutely, it could be worse. Okay, so we've finished that. Now, this is the part that I don't like. It's the power calculating part of it. So on average, does it consume 1,000? I believe I can just search it up, can't I? Ow, accelerator. Right, so this is the one that I need. So the average to me is 1,000 megawatts. Oh no, it is 1,000 megawatts. So we'll do an average of 1,000, maximum of 1,500. That sounds about right. And how many do I need actually? And 4. Okay, so 4,000 to 6,000, I believe it is. I believe that's right. Particle accelerator. 4,000 megawatts is the average. And then 6,000 is the maximum. So can you all please be like that? Fantastic, thank you. I'm gonna have to just make sure that my calculations are definitely right. 1,500 times by 4. Wow, maths. Good. Good. Really good. Fantastic. The next thing to then work out, I suppose, is going to be the singularity cell. Because with the plutonium waste, I've also then got to try and find out how many plutonium cells do I need to then produce 40 plutonium waste, which might take me a minute to do. So, if I get singularity cells out the way with, that's a pretty good thing done, and I can then do a bit of that. And dark matter residue, of course, is just dark matter residue. There's not really too much I can do about that other than some SAM stuff, which in fact, to be honest, I might just do now. Why not? And it was 800, right? Yep, 800. So we'll do 80, then times that by 10. 400 reanimated Sam. Brilliant. Okay. Too shabby. Welcome, Marco. Do you know Satisfactory factories? I do. Yes, I don't like it. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Just personally, I prefer doing this because I feel like it's just more enjoyable for me. I generally do enjoy doing this. So it's the main reason as to why I spend hours doing this. Welcome, Early Pause. Did Kenny text you? I don't think so, unless I missed it. Not recently. Reanimated what did I type? Reanimated. Oh dear. There we go. Just move you slightly out the way. And then to make all of you, again, this machine doesn't have a constant number for the power consumption, which is so annoying. I can understand why. It's just for the maths part, it makes it a bit more annoying to deal with, which is fine. Converter. Welcome, Rowan. Hope that you're doing good. You're new here, but it's good to have you on the stream, and welcome. Hope that you're going to enjoy it. You, that's the one I need. Okay. Okay, so, right. Is that 250 then? There's a 300 difference. 150. That must be 250 must be the average, right? I'm going to assume 250 is the average. And the maximum is 400. Okay. Interesting. So we have a... Let me just copy and paste this over so I can just do rough notes, essentially. 250 AV. 400 max. And then how many of these am I going to need? Do you do 100? We need 400, so just times everything here by 4. Okay, so the average is going to be 1,000. The maximum is going to be 1,600. Okay. And that's for the... Convertor? Is it convertor or ter? I think it's tor. It is ter. Damn it. There we go. You know it's rough when the lowest amount of power that you've calculated today is 1,000 megawatts. It is pain. Done it again. He's done it again! Bold. No, bold. Thank you. And also, let me just get rid of that. There we go, that's better. In fact, can I just do a text without that thing there? There we go, that makes it a bit easier just to do maths. Right, so far, we're consuming a maximum of, oh Christ, on a bike, 23,600 megawatts. I've only done 3 calculations so far, and we're consuming over 20,000 megawatts. Damn. If you want to run tonight, yeah? Yeah, that's fine. 7 PM's fine. Now, 400 reanimated Sam. I can make you in the constructor, can't I? Let me just yeet my way around over here. I have turned down my graphics, by the way, because my PC was dying, but we are next to the port. In case you guys don't know, I am trying to build a port. I'm currently in the process of planning a ship, which is rather interesting and fun to do. Get back to doing that someday. Yeah. What's the maximum here? 30. That doesn't go into 400. Actually, no, it won't do. It's a bit annoying though, isn't it? It's fine. Wait, I'll do that a bit later. So I'm going to need... Yeah, that sounds about right. 1,600 Sam. You're going to go into there just for now. I believe you're that one, right? Where was my list? Okay, yeah, Sam was just purple. Good. It is rather dark, but I think it pops out. Yeah, I'm not upset with that. Move you up there slightly just for now. Probably readjust a few of these a bit later on, but as of right now, it's okay. I'll keep you that. You seem a little bit higher than the rest, though. Apparently not. Okay. Tuck you round here as well. Perfect. Okay, good. So that's that now completely finished. And now when it comes to power, 13.4 times by 4. Technically it's 13.333 recurring, isn't it? But for the sake of my brain cells, I'm going to say 54 megawatts. Yeah. Constructor. Jesus. What was it? 54. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to put the amount of machines I actually need. That's quite annoying. Okay, firstly, let's do that. No. Let's do that. Yep. I'm gonna have to type the word constructor a lot, so it's a lot easier for me just to do con. There we go. Welcome, Mvorax. Or Mvorax, hope that you're doing well. Since you dabbled into nuclear over the last month, you don't see the last step is worth it? Consume so much power, it's easy just to store plutonium waste in some giant end deposit. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying a bit earlier as well. But I am going to be making a video titled "Is Fixonium fuel rods worth it?" in Satisfactory 1.1, where I'll be going over exactly what you just said. Like, is it actually worth it? Why not just store it in some sort of random remote ditch where you're never gonna be affected by the radiation and just call it there, rather than consuming all this power? Not just power, but I like to think about it in regards of like time consumption as well. Is it easier to spend 5 hours just spamming a bunch of blueprints, storage containers in a random ditch, or 150 hours building a factory that is going to be producing a little bit of power? And the resource, yeah, exactly. So you're going to be consuming 14 constructors. When it comes to the converters, I believe that was 4, wasn't it? I still remember that one. PA, what was PA? Oh yeah, the particle accelerator. You weren't that many, actually, were you? You were 4 as well, okay. And then the last one was the quantum encoder. Was you 4 as well? E20. That's annoying. Oh, you were 8, actually. Yeah, you were 8. Okay. So there we go. This is what I'm going to be doing. All the machines I'm going to be... I can't zoom in any further. Cool. My mouse is going to, like, drive me to insanity. My mouse is going to be my 13th reason why. But essentially... this is the machine. This is the amount of the machines. And this is the amount of power that machine is going to be consuming. Then at the very end of this recipe, I add everything up and calculate the total power required, the total resources required, and the total machines used. If you've ever seen any of my recent best recipe videos, you'd know that's essentially what I do. My first few best recipe videos, I didn't used to do that, but now I am, just to make things a bit better. Because I feel like that makes a bit more sense. It does take a lot more time for me to do. I would have been so much not happier, more contempt with the idea of not doing it, but at the same time though, again, it makes things better. So next up, let's start to dabble in those Singularity cells. And for now, I'm... no. Sure. This is a thick recipe. This is the reason why I'm moving everything out the way. This is a thick recipe. Here we go. Singularity cells. I believe you make this in the quantum encoder, actually, don't you? No. You don't? Wait, where do you make... It's not like the blender or something stupid, is it? The okay. I don't like the blender because it requires liquids, and I don't like liquid logistics in this game. That's just me, probably. I don't know. Okay, so we need 4 manufacturers. Manufacturers, I believe, consume 55 megawatts, so in total that's going to be 220. I have to double check that. I believe that is correct. Manufacturer, 4 of you lots, 220 megawatts. Okay. And damn, you require quite a lot of stuff, don't you? Yeah, you do. And also for the alien power matrix, I haven't even looked into making this thing. I believe I made a video talking about this, and I think I came to the conclusion of this just not being worth it unless you were already producing a bunch of power. Then it was essentially a bonus from that. But if you're not producing a lot of power, this thing drains your power, because making things like SAM fluctuators is not fantastic. Power shards, of course, you then need things like the quantum encoder, drains your power, superposition oscillators, drains your power, and converters, which, yet again, drains your power. So I think, again, yeah, I came to the conclusion that just wasn't worth it. And I thought Singularity servers went into this thing, but clearly not. What do you actually do then? Oh, that's what you go into. 'Cause I knew there was something else, but it wasn't that. Okay, fair enough. I had a random temper tantrum then about the alien power matrix for no reason. Fair enough. Right, so times everything here by 10. We need 4 nuclear pasta. Damn, that sounds fun. That was a little bit of sarcasm. But no, I do like a little bit of nuclear pasta. I do. And the main reason for that is because of the concrete powder. Just seeing all of those copper ingots making all that powder, it's satisfying. It does take a while to do, but making bulk ingredients like that, I personally at least find them very satisfying to do. As long as it doesn't involve screws. When it involves screws, I'm protesting. I'm out on the streets with a banner. What's next? We need 80 dark matter. Damn, 80 dark matter crystals. Oh dear. Not terrible. Could be worse. Next up, we've got 400 iron plates. Yeah, that's very easy to do. No problems there at all. First one is 800 concrete. Again, very simple to do. It is quite a lot of concrete, but it's not that bad, really. In fact, that actually makes me ask the question. If we have a Mark III miner that's producing 1,200 limestone per minute, how much concrete can I make from that? Wet concrete. Try and get that to say 120. There we go. So, times that by 10. 800. Oh. Okay. So 1,200 limestone plus 1,000 water produces 800 concrete per minute, which is exactly what we need for this. So this is essentially a Mark III miner at 250% efficiency on a pure node, with of course a Mark VI conveyor belt. Okay. See, when you put it like that, when you say it just requires 1 miner, it doesn't sound as bad. When you say it's a Mark III 250% efficiency pure node, then... Okay, let's start off with you, because you'll be very, very simple. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've already done it. Haven't I? Let me just double check. This is definitely 55 megawatts, right? Yeah, the only thing it seems to not be 55 megawatts for is that. Everything else seems good. Wait, what? 0 to 0. Okay. Isn't fine concrete even better? Fine concrete. Does that combine quartz? Is that the recipe? It's not even in the refinery. Alright, yeah, maybe. I don't really want to use too much extra silica though, because the way I've already done all my recipes is that I'm using quite a lot of raw quartz, and I'm cutting it rather close to the world limits, whereas with limestone I've still got a bunch of limestone left over, so I'd rather consume more limestone than quartz. It's the stage that I'm at personally, but if you don't mind consuming a bit of silica, then maybe that is better. But for me personally, water, completely fine to use, and limestone, yeah, I don't want to use rubber concrete, obviously. I just don't like rubber that much. So I'm still just going to assume this is 55 megawatts, but that was a bit confusing there. Yeah. That's fine. 800 concretes, you are going to require... It's probably easier to copy and paste you across. Some limestone and water. Water, I think, was that one. And limestone was the middle one. Okay. Makes sense. That one. So wait, so it was 1,200, then it was 1,000 water. Beautiful. If you guys down slightly there as well. Great. In regards of how many machines we need for that, it is 10. 10 times 30 is 300. So we need 10 refineries. Ref 10, 300 megawatts. Is there a way that you guys can just go to the top? Oh, there you go. If I just bothered looking, the answer would be yes. Yes, there is a way I could do that. I wish you can just stay bold. That'll make things a bit easier. But there we go. Fantastic. That's another recipe done. Another one bites the dust. Iron plates is, again, another very simple one to calculate. Dark matter crystal will be very simple as well. That just won't be, but we're going to do it anyway, obviously. What are these other recipes again? That's fairly basic. That's fairly basic, and that is... I've already done. In fact, actually, no, it's not. No. Can I do that now? No, you are already done. What am I on about? I thought you were dark matter residue. No, you literally are already finished. Okay. So yeah, these two are very, very basic to do. A part of me already wants to calculate them right now, in fact. Let's do iron plates. Then we'll get onto that. If I can just, like, hammer home the smaller calculations first, then do the bigger ones, it's like building myself up rather than finishing a really huge calculation, like a recipe, and then having to do, like, 3 more of the exact same thing, and then a bit smaller ones. Like, this is just a bit easier for me. 400 iron plates. I'm just making you in the constructor, I think, right? There are other iron plate recipes. There are. I don't like any of them, if I'm being brutally honest. If you've got plastic lying around, sure. If you've got steel lying around, sure. And bear in mind, from this, you can make it from petroleum coke, right? Yeah, petroleum coke and iron. So if you've got a bunch of petroleum coke and iron lying around, combine them together to form some steel ingots. Then combine them again to form some of the iron to then form your iron ingots, then make your iron plates. But why overcomplicate something like that, in my opinion? So, I'm kind of just happy with doing the basic recipe. Mostly. Of course, I'll be using pure ingots, but that's self-explanatory. The fun starts once you start calculating the nuclear pasta. Yep. Don't remind me. I'm having like a minute of not thinking about nuclear pasta. The only pasta I like is spaghetti. Unless it's in Satisfactory, then I don't like spaghetti. 40. Thumbs everything here by 10. Yeah. I should have probably already known that was going to be 600. Oh well. There we go. 600 iron ingots. We'll pop back over to the yard and then do a little bit of that. Yes, I know I can use sulfur. I don't like using the sulfur recipes. That's as far as I'll go with that one. I just don't like it. But it's better! I know it's better. Okay, so we're going to need in total. Oh, actually, that's a very odd amount, isn't it? It's a shame. I'm going to be a little bit lazy though and just copy and paste this over because it's already got the colors that I need. That's that. I also do want to make sure that all of these are here on the same level. There you go, you guys are now on the same level. Fantastic. Round of applause. That's enough. Right, what we're dealing with you then. 320, we'll go 324. I know it's like one extra, but I'd rather overestimate than underestimate, because that's just, whoa, that's just annoying if that happens. 185. That's not too bad. To make 400 iron plates, I would say that's pretty decent. Yeah. And how many refineries do I need for you then? Oh, actually, I forgot to do the iron plate calculation thing as well. Right. So if 20 is 1, we need 20 constructors. Damn. Okay. Constructor. 20. 4 times 20 is 800? No, that can't be right. 80. Yep. And for the refinery, we needed how many? Probably quite a weird number, isn't it? Oh, it's so close to being 100. What even is 100? 65. What a random number. Anyway. Okay, so I've got to do... How do I even calculate this? I might just say 10, honestly. In fact, no, it is 10. It literally is 10. You can't have like 9.6 refineries. Unless you overclock. I'm not including overclocking into any of this. Refinery 10, which is 300 megawatts. I'm honestly looking at all this power that this thing's going to require, and it's just not... I can tell you now, after only 52 minutes of doing this, probably around about 50 minutes, because the first couple minutes was the introduction of the stream, this is not worth it. I'm still going to commit with it in regards of calculating, because I want to try and do a video about it, but this is just not worth it. I can't see a universe where this is worth it. Okay, dark crystal, or dark matter crystal. What recipe did I use for this one? I remember I had like a very good recipe for this. It was this one, wasn't it? Because I remember, again, if I had my last notes, I could have shown you. In fact, I made a video talking about dark matter crystal, so you can just check this. But I'm pretty sure the dark matter trap recipe ended up consuming like less power, I believe, and 100 less SAM per minute than this. Everything else was the exact same, but this just consumes less SAM. So there is absolutely no reason on this planet, in my eyes, to use the basic recipe, unless you want to. This recipe consumes 0 SAM in the diamond, 0 coal, but consumes tons of SAM. And that's just a bit of a mix of both, but less than that. So yeah, we'll go with dark matter trap in the particle accelerator. Oh my god. Oh, again, why can't you just... It's okay. It's fine. Dun, 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 dun. Right. Okay. That's not too bad. So you're going to need 40 time crystals and 200 dark matter residue. 200? Yep. then 40 time crystals. Time crystals just require diamonds, I think. Unless there was like a cheeky recipe that I've started to use that's better, which there might be, honestly. Be too surprised. I'm also going to nudge this over here a little bit, because this might require some more room. In fact, it will require some more room because of this recipe. And then again, we are going to have to, again, calculate the power for this. Particle accelerator. Produce dark matter trap is an average of 1,000 megawatts and a maximum of 1,500. And we are going to be needing 134%. So, okay. Time to maths. 134%. 1,350 we'll go with. 1,350 is the average. And 1,500. 1,950, roughly, is the maximum. And we're going to need 2 of them. There we go. Okay. Then 1,950 is the maximum. Right. I believe that's right. How are you 4,000 though? Because you require exactly 4. That makes sense. Because you don't require exactly 2. If you required exactly 2 particle accelerators, you'll be 2,000 and 3,000. So I believe that makes sense. Okay, good. Next thing on the list. So next thing on the list is going to be... what exactly? Oh yeah, actually doing the calculation itself. Yeah, okay. Alright, fair enough. The time crystals is going to be 80. 40. Yep. Good. Now for our time crystal recipe, how many alternates are there for this? Oh. Well, I mean, that answers our question. Yeah, I knew this was going to be a rough one, if I'm completely honest. However... damn it. I thought I was wrong. So you are going to need exactly double the amount of diamonds. That's fair enough. So essentially, for every 2 diamonds, you can make 1 time crystal. And again, 80 diamonds doesn't sound too bad. Of course, if you've messed around with diamonds before, you know it is bad. It is rough. But it doesn't sound bad, at least. So that's good. There we go. Right, then what's the power consumption for this gonna be? Because how many machines was that again? Roughly 6 2/3. Right. 6 2/3. The converter. Which is going to set us back by... how much? 250. 250 times 6.7. Is 1,650. $1,675 even. And the maximum is going to be 400 times by 6.7, which is 2,680. How many machines in total was that? It was 7. Right, okay. So, converter, that requires 7 converters. Damn. Consuming... Really? Yeah, that makes sense. That's the average. And the maximum, I forgot to do that. It's better. And the max is 2,680. Yeah, I'm surprised it's only one time crystal recipe. That is rather surprising. Well, there's a reason for it, but it's just a bit surprising. Okay. I think that's right. But again, just look at all this power. Can't be worth it. Yeah. Anyway. Next meme. After diamonds, gotta make sure this is definitely all lined up. We've now got our actual diamond recipe, and I do believe this is a pretty decent recipe. I grab... Yeah, in fact, you know what? It was quartz crystals and cord as well. You could just use cord, but I'm going to show you the reason as to why I don't do that. I believe that's the right color. Actually, is it one darker? It is one darker, because that's for nitrogen gas. Okay. Offline. Oh god, no. Good. You not want to have a repeat of what happened last time. There's tons of diamond recipes, which is good because diamonds themselves are very expensive to make. Unless you use this recipe, which isn't as bad if you've got a bunch of quartz lying around. Which is the main reason. Like, this recipe is the main reason as to why I'm not using that concrete recipe that you were talking about a bit earlier on. So, diamonds. I believe I'm making you in here, actually. Is this the only diamond recipe in the converter? I believe, yeah, it is. So, this would now require 640 cord per minute and 240 quartz crystal. Have they changed that? That doesn't seem too expensive, actually. I mean, it's still 640 cord per minute. But if I was to use the basic diamond recipe, shine bright like a diamond, times you by 10, that would then be 1,600 cord per minute. 1,600. Which is a rather steep amount, if I'm honest. So yeah, I do prefer this, personally. We then have to do 80 divided by 15. Are you going to be nice? I don't think you are going to go into each other, are you? Damn it. 5 1/3. Okay. We do the maths for that now. I can find diamonds. There we go. 250 times by 5.3. Is 1,325 is going to be the average. It's like an extra 1,000 megawatts, right? You know, it is what it is. The max is going to be 2,120. How many machines was that again? That was 6. Okay. Look at all these converters as well. They're all converters. Except for the ones that aren't converters. (1,325 megawatts is the average. Then 120 is the maximum. Nice. Your talents. Of course, we're not done there just yet with the time crystal recipe because we still got to do the quartz crystal shenanigans. Which luckily is going to require water, obviously. Like, I'm pretty sure every single recipe requires water at some point. Or the ones that I've done at least. If you were to play this game normally, then it wouldn't require that much. I'm not very normal. Hello? Jesus. Okay, 240 quartz crystal. I just 360'd a refinery. Let's freaking go. Is it pure? Yeah, it is called pure. I was going to type in wet quartz. That's why I sort of like didn't fully commit with that because it wasn't actually right. It didn't feel right. Damn it. 300 and... Go 310. Yep. And then 172 for the water. And we are going to need 45. 5 of these refineries. One at just above half. So 4 times 30 because one refinery consumes 30 megawatts. Let me just write this down actually. So, refinery. 5. 120. We're looking at roughly 136 megawatts. Okie dokies. I believe that's right. 30 times... Yeah, I was like 1 megawatt off. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. Next recipe now is the dark matter residue. It's the return of the dark matter. Can you please, like, not do that? Can you not rebel against my lines? Thank you. 200 of you. Before we did what? 80? Or 800? Wait, 800? Damn. So, this is going to be a quarter of that, but I've still got to do the maths for it, though. Right? That's not right. It should be 1,600, I think. It's a 4-to-1 ratio, so yeah, it should be. Okay. I'm glad that I actually double-checked that in the end. That would have sucked if I got that one wrong, which luckily we didn't, so that's good. You should snap to that, then you should snap to that. Lovely. Okay. Maths time, maths time. It's a song, I think. So times this by 2. Yeah, okay. So the maths of this should actually be rather simple then, right? Because it's going to be inverter 2, an average of 500 megawatts since the average of 1 is 250. Average. And then a maximum consumption of 401, so 800. There we go. Okay, so the maths on that one is pretty simple. Then our diamond... No. Reanimated Sam. Don't know why I started singing that. Fan bright like a reanimated Sam. You 100? Believe so. Yes, you are. I can't do 100, so I'll do 10. There we go. Yeah, that's correct. Good. How many of you lot do I need? So you do 30. So I'm going to need 4 constructors. That's... It was in my head, now it's gone, which is great. 3 1/3, so 3.3 roughly. Okay. 3.3 times by 4 is roughly 12. We'll go 13. Let's just go 14 megawatts. That'll be like the maximum for that. No, it can't be right. 4, 8, 12. It is right. Okay, fair enough. Roughly. If we're off by like 1 megawatt, is it really going to make a difference? Because again, some of these are consuming 16,000 per recipe. And of course, we've got dozens and dozens and dozens of recipes in this one main recipe itself. So it's fine to be off by 1 megawatt. We've done that now. This is where we're at so far. I can probably move you a little bit closer, actually. I don't know why I've put you so far away while you're quarantining. Might even swap you guys around, actually. Yeah, that's a bit better. A little bit closer. No. And move you to there. Okay, good. Again, we are going to move a little bit of these lads closer to each other. Don't know why I just call them lads. It's recipes. The boys a bit closer to each other. Not too close. I don't want these to be massively overlapping. Make sure that you're nice and neat. Aww. Right, you actually are. I think it's this one that's not neat. Imposter. Lovely. You lot are nice and close. You can get in there as well. Go on. A bit too close. Look how colourful that is. Aww. Great. So that's done. That's done. In fact, is that a bit too close now? No, it's okay. The question is, like, is it going to be... Welcome back again, the great artist. Hope that you're well. Is this going to be too difficult to differentiate between each recipe? Maybe. I think it's fine. I think it's okay. You know what, can probably move a little bit. Sure. I do want to try and do the electromagnetic control rod recipe now, because I generally don't know what recipe I chose before. It's time to revisit that, I suppose. I also don't know how big this recipe is going to end up being. Electromagnetic control rod. I don't know which recipe I chose. I'm pretty sure it was this one. I'm pretty sure. I might have to rewatch my own video. What has my life come to? I can't think of anything worse than having to watch back my own content. Here we are. Thank you again to everyone who's tuning in, by the way. I do greatly appreciate the likes and the subs today. Thank you very much. Okay, video. What did I even title the video? Oh. No. Oh. There we go. Don't be an ad. Oh my god! Ad for my own video. It's lucky that I've timestamped all these videos though. I can just flick to the very end. Okay. So it looks like the electromagnetic connection rod is the best. Least amount of copper consumption. The third recipe also has the least amount of iron ore consumption and the least amount of deuterium consumption. Sure. Things I can't change my mind. Like, I've already done the recipe. But to me at least, this does seem the best. Copper, least amount. Iron, least amount. Deuterium, least amount. And there's no raw quartz, but there is water. And that's the electromagnetic control rod. Oh wait, that's it with water. Oh right, so it's between these two. Oh, okay, right. Copper, this one's better. Iron, this one is a little bit better, but this actually consumes more deuterium and raw quartz. And surely the control rod's better, but again, a part of me is saying I didn't use that. If I was to choose now, I would say the control rod recipe, the basic. Because I mean, yeah, you're consuming more iron and more copper, but you're saving on deuterium and you're saving on raw quartz. Area limiters. I think it's that one, isn't it? The control rod? Yeah. I mean, I want to go with this. Yeah. If I don't, how is that going to impact the playthrough? I don't think it will massively. I'm just trying to find... I think I took some screenshots of this recipe, maybe. Oh, in fact, it's the very first thing I see. Wow, no way. So I went with the high-speed connectors. I don't see it. Why? Maybe if I just see, like, this entire video. Recipe 1. Go back. Video coming out about this. Stop talking. So, recipe number 1. Quick wire, easy to make. Copper sheets, easy to make. Stators, very easy to make. I'm not too concerned about power consumption for this recipe. Why did I choose this? This is a lot better. Why did I choose that? And there was a recipe 3 as well, which are the exact same as recipe 2, I believe, but I just added some water, which made it a lot better. Recipe 1 is superior by a landslide, in my opinion. So I'm actually going to change my recipe up here a little bit. I'm going to go with the basic recipe. This might screw over some of my maths, but I honestly do not care. If this is better, why not go with it? Right, where do I make you then? The assembler? Let's do it. Yep, okay. I'm going to need 40 of you. 40 of you, damn. Oh, but look at that though, that's actually rather good. Okay, that's actually fantastic. So, you are going to need... That's the wrong button. 60 stators, 40 AI limiters. I think that's correct. Yep. $60 stators. Then 40 AI limiters. Seems like in my pea-sized brain that makes sense. Also, how much power does an assembler consume? A part of me wants to say it's 15 or 20 megawatts. I will have to double check. I'm pretty sure it's 15. I will double check though, just for this. We need 10 of them. We need exactly 10 of them. This is the first assembler we're using today, by the way. Damn. It took a while, but we eventually got onto it. Assembler. There we go. Does it say? Oh, 15. Consumption of 15 megawatts. Okie dokies. Good. So then 15 times by 10 obviously is 150. Good. Very good, very nice. Next up, let's just get the stages out the way with. I've already got a recipe for this. I go up here somewhere. There you are. I mean, you're calculating 22, but this is still the recipe that I kind of like, so go with it. All the numbers are wrong, and I have to do the machine stuff as well, but again, the recipe is here. That's where I want you to go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So you're connected. Make sure that you are lined up with that which you already are. Well done. If I had a medal, it would go straight to you. So you should be lined up with that. In fact, no, you should be lined up with this. There we go. Everything should be on like a same sort of line here. Which it looks like it is. Good, okay. What I'd like to see. $60 status per minute. Which I believe I'm also making in the assembler. Wow. Back-to-back assembler recipe. I typed in assembler into the assembler. I'm already losing brain cells. That didn't take very long. That's going to be 180 steel pipe. And then 480 wire. Both of which are made over in the constructor. 120. Ew. So we're going to need 12 assemblers. I believe that is. Yep. 12 times 15. I don't know that. A part of me is going to say 600, but I very much doubt that's correct. No, it can't be right. Times 15 is 180. Okay. Assembler. 180 megawatts. Lovely. Next, let's also do the AI limiter whilst we're here, I suppose, actually. Yep. I don't like using, like, this recipe I'm sure is not too bad, but it uses quick wire, something which I don't really want to use too much of, and plastic, something which I am not using. So we'll go with that. Wait. That is actually correct. Yeah, that's fine. And we're going to need 40. Okay. But at least we're only going to need 8 assemblers for this. Which is better than the 10 and 12 that we had before. 8 times by 15. I'm not getting this one. 120. I just got it. Okay, that doesn't matter. It's definitely 120. Has to be. Right, copper sheets. We're going to need 200 copper sheets. Damn. Do I need, like, this exact recipe pretty much? No, not really. Copper sheets. I can already feel my voice is killing me today. It is a killing, which is fine. Just a little bit of death. It's also boiling inside the office as well. It's 17 degrees out, what it was the last time I checked. Which is great. 200 copper sheet, 800 quick wire. Is that not the same word? It is the same word. I think I've just typed it out like that anyway. Alright. Put you up to that, put you up to that. I think we've already done the maths for it, haven't we? Yeah. Okie dokies, that's good. Next up, I suppose we'll do quick wire here. And the reason as to why I'm doing this quick wire, in fact, yeah. Because it looks like a very simple recipe. All you need is Caterium and then that's it. Caterium ingots, Caterium ore. Except the way I do it is not quite that simple. Caterium ingot and copper ingots. This way I'm consuming a lot less Caterium, which I then use for other projects, so it is kind of worth it, I honestly think. Nope. Was that a quick... Oh, look at this for a recipe. Making wire using quick wire and rubber. No, thank you. I have to have a hard pass on that one. That's 67 Caterium ingots. And then 34... Wait. 340, sorry. 300 and... It's actually 334, actually, isn't it? Copper ingots. Which is obviously quite a lot. And I'm going to need 9 assemblers. 150, 135, 131. Let's go 132 megawatts. Round up. 9. There we go. 999. Lovely. Welcome, Ian. Oil for life. Oil does not get a vote because of the nightmare I suffered with my rocket fuel factory. Was it because I used the wrong recipe? Yes. But I only knew I did the wrong recipe because I calculated the best recipe as part of the video. So if I didn't do this series, I would have never got depressed. No. If I never did the series, I would have never found the correct answer. Is the more positive way of looking at that. Yeah, the recipe I chose was rather trash. I think there was one thing with it that was actually really good. I don't know what it was now though, but there was one thing I remember that was actually pretty decent. So I'm happy with that. Okay, the very final thing now for quick wire, because it gets worse. Just became Australian there for a minute. Because it gets worse, not worse. Oh, what have I just done? What have I just done? Crikey. Sorry. See, when I try and do the accent, it doesn't work. Why do you, Oh my god. My last 3 brain cells have been banished to the Shadow Realm. I've got nothing left. I'm just a walking corpse at this point. I must be. So, are you a bit low? You are a bit low. So then you must be a bit low. You are a bit low. Okay. How is everything too low there? So you require... Wait. There we go. Boom, boom, pow, bam. Professional gamer right here. Professional. I'm top 1000 Age of Empire 2 players in my household. There's less than 1,000 people in my house that are better than me at Age of Empires 2. That's how professional we are at that game. I've been playing it since I was literally 2 or 3 years old. And I'm still terrible. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how that's possible. There we go. Move you guys down here a little bit. I don't know why I'm squishing this all together, but it makes sense. It makes it look a bit more neatly laid out. Regardless, you're wrong. And regardless, you're wrong. But the names are all right. That's what I was kind of trying to do there. Right. Saw. Caterium. Sorry. That's the 5th accent I've now butchered on this stream. That was Scottish, by the way. Let's go 6.7, because I don't think they can get to 67. No. Disgraceful. 134 Caterium. And then 134 water. Then for our wait. 6 refineries. Okay. Let's just do this very quickly before I forget, because I will forget and then I'll cry about it. Refinery. 6. Okay, quick maths time. 30 times 6. My brain stopped working, sorry. 180. 180 minus 20% of 30. Piss off. 174. We'll have to run up there a little bit, so we go 175 megawatts. Easy. Just added that to this one. There we go. Also, again, bold, please. We like the boldness around here. Lovely. Your fault for not finding out the recipe wrong? Yeah. Okay, so that's the refinery recipe done for that. Now it's copper time. How much copper do I need? 334. That's not as bad. I'd rather consume 334 copper than 70 Caterium, honestly. There we go. So times everything here by 10. 137. And, sorry, 134 actually. Sorry. And then roughly 90 water per minute. I'm fine with that. And this is going to consume 9 refineries. Then 9 times 30. 270. I should have got that ages ago. Just do 9 times 3 and add a 0. 270 minus 3 is 267. We'll go 268 to round up though. So that's 268 megawatts worth of power required to make our copper there for that recipe. Yeah. The only thing I've got to try and do now is actually change this. Add in the colours. Copper, I believe, was dark red. Lovely. Caterium. Part of me says it's that. Beck, I was off by 1. Yeah, sure. We've got to do our, what did I just press? We've got to do our copper sheets now. Just nested itself into here. And the only thing you should need is copper ingots, then water and copper ore, so this shouldn't be too bad. In fact, do a little bit of that. Lovely. That's about right. You guys have to be lowered down here a little bit. You guys have to go up a little bit. Perfect. Welcome, Vinod. Hope that you're doing well. Welcome. So this part is like the maths part's wrong, but the names are fine and the coloring's all good. So 200 copper sheets. I'm not using. Oh wait, no, I am using a different recipe actually. We're consuming a bit more water. I forgot. Heat you over there. You lot again. Just heat yourself. Okay. So you then move to here. That's better. That's the recipe I want. That's the recipe I need. Right. So for 200 copper sheets, we are going to need 200 copper ingots, then 200 water. And then power-wise, I'm pretty sure that's like the exact same thing as what I've just calculated. So again, 9 refineries. 268 megawatts, that's handy. Moving on now to our copper ingots. Again, we need 200 of these lots, which is going to end up being 80 copper ore and 54 water, give or take. But again, especially when it comes to liquids, I always like to round up. As a lot of you know by now, I keep saying it though, because it's just something I like to repeat, just in case. Then you need 6 refineries. I have 7... No, 30. 5 times by 30. 150. That's a third. 160. That should be 160 megawatts. I will double check though. Roughly, at least. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Good. See, my brain's already starting to melt there a little bit. That's fine. I do kind of want to try and move you over to the Fixite Trigon now. Because I believe for the next while, after we do the nuclear pasta, that's the very last that we're going to be dealing with all like the quantum encoders, particle accelerators, converter stuff. So I do want to try and get that out of the way with. And then, in fact, have I already calculated you? I don't actually know. 400 size of photonic matter. 2 of you lot. Yeah, so 250 is the average. Comes up by 2. That's 500 average, 800 maximum. No. Okay. Yeah, that's for 400. You're making 200 per minute. Okay, good. So now let's move over to the Fixite Trigons. You got a lot of stuff done today. Nice. You finished building the 3,200 concrete, 1,200 quartz crystals, and 3,000 steel pipes, gathering 4,800 Caterium, making 8,000 copper ingots, all for nuclear. You would need another 15,000 copper ingots for Fixonium. Damn. It's a lot of resources. It is. Yeah, I'm concerned how my PC is going to handle all of that. Let's go wait and see. Actually, in fact, wait. I have to do this. Boink. There we go. Love that new feature. Oh. There we go. I love how I can literally hear my computer overheating when I start to move around in this game now. Fixite Trigons. More like Fixite Triung to piss me off. Sorry. 800 of them. Let me just make sure that's definitely correct. It is correct. Damn. Right, and where was it that I make them again? So you're actually made in the constructor. Right, okay. Trigon. 75, really? It times everything here by 100, which isn't ideal, but it's not terrible. How many constructors does this require, then? Like 30-something constructors. Are you barking up my tree? That sounds like a mad sentence. 268, we'll call it. Yeah. Yeah, boy. 26, 200. Yeah, that's good. 268 Fixite ingots. I believe when it actually comes to making the Fixite, I think I ended up going with iron. Yeah. Did I? No, I think was there an option for Caterium as well? Yeah, it was. I think I did end up going with Fixite. Fixite. Caterium. Iron makes more sense. But sense does iron make sense to the iron? Fixite sense to the iron Caterium. Sense I think Fixite. So let's do that then. And again we need, oh bloody hell, man. We need 260. Oh my. Right. The reason why I'm a bit concerned about this is the amount of power this one step's going to require. So I'm going to need 18 converters. Lord have mercy on my brain cells. Damn. You're dreading gathering that 8,000 Caterium ore for Quickwire? Yeah. That should be fun. 6,000 SAM. The worst part about SAM is that a lot of it's located underneath caves. So you have to either get a conveyor belt all the way through a cave and out the cave, or have like a truck station inside the cave, but that's just not really worth it. So yeah, that's just going to make things a lot harder, because at least with things like limestone or Caterium, as you say, most of it's located above surface. Things like quartz, crystals to some extent, raw quartz even, and SAM are in caves. So yeah. Luckily there's a few SAM nodes that aren't in caves. They're often surrounded by baddies, so that's going to make life a lot harder. But it's doable though, it's pain. Okay, there we go. And that's roughly 80. Because I'm sure if I was to lower this down to that, it is 80. I'm going to go with 80. And then Caterium ingot's going to be 107 we'll go with. Yeah. Why not? Yep. 107. I said it, then I forgot it instantly. Make sure you're lined up there, and that you're lined up over there as well. This is probably a bit off center, isn't it? I believe this one's fine. You should be lined up with that, then you should be lined up with this. Okay, good. Seems about right. So not use them? Exactly, yeah. Like, for my next playthrough, I'm literally just going to use conveyor belts, and I don't care if it's going to lag my game. Because things like trains and trucks and drones annoy me. Conveyor belts, which look a bit uglier in some regards, are just so much simpler to do. And it's not even, like, close in my eyes. So again, we are using the convert ore. I'm so happy you didn't just see the way I spelt that. There we go. I'm happy that footage is not on the internet. That was the worst spelling a human's ever done. Easily. So, we're going to need roughly 18 of you lot. Yep, okay, right. It's all the same. Okay, so 250 times by 18. Not bad. Can't be that bad. It's 4,500. Okay, it is actually pretty bad. That's the average, bear in mind. And 7,200 is the maximum. Damn. Again, like, that's just another 7,000 megawatts just gone. It's mad. It is absolutely mad how expensive all of this is. It really is. Okay, what's next? And that, I suppose, reanimated Sam, which requires stuff. It requires stuff, everybody. It requires Sam. 4 times the amount that I'm using. I'm using 80, so it's 240. Okay. I'll paint you in purple. Don't worry, you're not missing anything interesting. I'm just doing a bit of arrows. Can I try and do a 360 on the constructor again? 3, 2, 1. Damn it! Close enough. Okie dokies. Can I do that? Not even close. So I can times everything here by 10 though. 80%, so we need 8 of these. 8 constructors. Write that down very quickly. Constructor. 8. 32 megawatts worth of power. Isn't that crazy? 8 constructors is 32 megawatts. 18 converters is 7,200. 80 times 4 is 320. Is it? Yeah. Oh well. We need 11 of you lot. 44, roughly 41. There we go. Caterium stuff now. We need 107 Caterium ingots. We'll do 10.7. And times everything here by 10. Make life a bit simpler. What I'm actually going to try and do is that. A little bit of this. No, wait. Bring you back. Down a little bit. No, that's as high as you can go. Right. That's fine. I'm not a massive fan of that. Is that really as high as we can go? No, we can actually go a little bit lower. Okay. Ignore the lines, by the way. Don't worry. There we go, good. Except these numbers are of course wrong just for now. Fixing them shouldn't be much of a problem though. So again, times everything here by 10, so that's 214. Should both be 214, right? Yes. Then we're going to need 9 refineries. Okay. $270. The exact same earlier, didn't we? Yeah, it was about that. To be fair, that's probably a bit more accurate, because you're... Yeah. Good. So is that this recipe completely done? I believe so. Not bad. It's not ideal, but 800 Fixite Trigons, only consuming 320 reanimated... 320 SAM, and then 214 Caterium ore and water. That's not that bad. Of course, if it was aluminium, it would be a little bit less, but I am not doing aluminium stuff now. I've already finished that factory. And for you, of course, we've already calculated all of that. Brilliant. Okay. That's good. Very good. Make sure that you're lined up with that, which you are, but now this line's gone a bit weird. Nice. What's next now? Oh, yeah, the nuclear pasta. And then the plutonium waste. I think the plutonium waste we'll do in a different stream. I don't even think we can get the nuclear pasta done today, because again, we're doing all the power stuff as well, which is just taking so much longer than if I wasn't to do it. Hopefully, a few of you might find it a bit more interesting and helpful. Made in the particle accelerator. Oh, back to using this again. Hopefully after this, there should be no more, like, quantum particle accelerators and quantum encode and all that sort of stuff. It's quite nice. Long distances for the trains. Do not shove 16 trains on one railway and expect it to work at like 15 different train crash and oh dear. And well, my plans are kind of to get rather close to that, if I'm honest. Because I've got one rail that's going straight through my world that's going to have a lot of trains going onto it. So I might have to build like a multi-storied train station blueprint at that rate. Which I'd rather not do, but if I have to, I have to. Your 0.5, so times everything here by 8. So, particle accelerator. 8. There we go, particle accelerator. Making our nuclear pasta is going to consume an average of 1,000 megawatts. Times that by 8, that's obviously 8,000. For the average amounts, by the way, that's not even like max, that is just average. And then the maximum is going to be roughly, my dog's barking, 12,000 megawatts. There we go. Put that down there just a little bit. Again, it's like just another 12,000. Of course, right now on paper, this is just numbers. But eventually, in theory, if my computer could have handled it, this is what we would have done. And it's just an additional 12,000 megawatts worth of power required to do this. And bear in mind, this is not a space elevator part. This is not even necessary. You don't need to do this. Can't be worth it. This cannot be worth it. Because we're making, what, 20? Fixite... what's it called again? Fixonium fuel rods. How much power... I mean, of course you produce a lot of power. 150,000. That's megajoules. Is that the exact same as megawatts? I don't think it is it? No. Right. But regardless, it produces a lot of electricity. Power, sorry. I don't know. I don't know. I'm still going to commit with the recipe though, absolutely. We've done all of that power stuff. That's all out the way with now. Now it's just actually doing the recipe itself. So again, times every... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna do this. There we go. Now we just add a 0 to the end of it all. And welcome, Zhao. I hope that you're doing well. We're currently working on a rocket fuel and rubber factory. Currently piping up 6,800 minutes of diluted fuel with blenders, and it's great. Yeah. Welcome to liquid logistics and Satisfactory. It will break you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Apparently, I mean, I did not see it with the liquid logistics, but apparently it does. Yeah, it can be rather annoying. Because unfortunately, I actually calculated a rocket-fueled factory, and everything logistically was perfect. But because of the way that liquid's transported, it didn't actually work, and my factory didn't work. But at the very beginning of the factory, I'm transporting 600 crude oil per minute on my pipes, but actually it's only 580, which then means everything that I think it's like 588, whatever the number is. So everything else that comes after that is now producing less items than what it should be, which then affects the next thing, which then affects the next thing, which then affects the next thing. Until eventually I get down to my plastic and rubber stuff, which I'm using diluted fuel for. So it's a whole kerfuffle, but it is what it is. So copper powder 800. Damn. No. Wait, what am I doing? I told you my brain cells are gone. And then that's going to be 4 pressure conversion. Yep. Good. Very good. Your Caterium ingot recipe, because one fully overclocked refinery can only produce 60 per minute. So for one pure node, you need 20 refineries. Yeah, 50. It's a lot of refineries, it's lots of power. It really is. Yeah. I wish it wasn't. Hey ho. Also, I just realized the pressure conversion cube. Oh, we're doing all the cube stuff now, aren't we? Ew. That's le pain. That is very much le pain. Grab you lot and move you here. Because the only thing that I'm going to need now, I believe, is copper ingots and copper ore. I can grab from there. Perfect. Alright, so lower you down to there. Lower you down there a little bit. Good. Nice. Now, 800 copper powder. How much copper ore or ingots do you think that's going to require? I'm going to say 2,700? Is it like a 3 times ratio? I've got no idea. Again, it's been a while since I've last calculated all of this stuff. It's a 6 oh, whoa. Wait. Damn, that's 4,800 copper ingots. Oh, I didn't do the maths for that either. No, I did actually. No, I did. This is now the part I've got to do the maths for. We use 16 constructors, 16 times by 5, 80? I don't know. 16 times by 5 is... Oh, wow. It is. My mouse is stuck. There we go. Right. And that's it for that. Actually, no, it's not. We're going to do this. 50 Caterium refineries running right now in your plastic AI limiter factory. Oh, did you do the... I don't think I chose that recipe for the AI limiter. I went for this one. Unless this is the one that you... No, I think it's this one. Yeah. The reason why I didn't go with this is purely because I don't like using plastic or rubber in my world. So even though I'm producing tens of thousands of items per minute, only like 500 of that is plastic and rubber combined. Everything else is just anything to avoid plastic and rubber. That's because personally I don't like to do that, because I don't like crude oil recipes that much. But it's not a bad recipe, it's just not the one that I use. I prefer this one. Because copper's a lot easier to come by, and quick wire is just quick wire. You end up saving Caterium if you go with this recipe though, but again you end up using crude oil. So it's completely up to what you want to do for that recipe. Depends on what item you want to try and save. Times everything here by 100. 1,920. 1,280. Damn. That's 13 water extractors. Damn. I'll do the water extractor calculation towards the end. I'll just add up all the water, then divide it by 120. And that will give me roughly what I need. But again, when you're dealing with other recipes that are requiring, let's say, 16,000 megawatts, just for one recipe, to then make another recipe, to then make another recipe, to then make another recipe. It's like, you might be off by like 5 or 6 megawatts of some things, but because you're dealing with 16,000 and other recipes, it doesn't massively matter. Which is a bit of a shame, but again, oh well. $128, that's... Wait, what? How many refinery... Wait. Sorry. Is that 12,000%? 12,800%? We've got to times this by 100. 1,200... 12,000... That's 129 refineries. That's 129 refineries for one I'm gonna rage. Just kidding, no I'm not, but it's still a pretty cool factory though. Looking forward to it, honestly. $3,870 megawatts per minute, obviously. Damn, that's a lot. Some of your favorites to build, oh nice. Yeah, again, some people love to do it. Just personally, I don't like dealing with liquids. Except for when it comes to water, because I just package it straight away. So now, what's our recipe here looking like? First of all, again, highlight all of that. You're now done. Round of applause for that. Alright, now it's pressure conversion cubes. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I've been trying to push it, put it off. No more. 4 of you. You made him the assembler. Oh, that's not the assembler. At least power-wise, this won't be too expensive to make, will it? There's 4 assemblers. Okay. That's nice. Yeah. And 4 assemblers consumes roughly 60 megawatts per... Well, yes. I keep saying per minute. It's not even per minute. It's just 60 megawatts. Good. And that is then... 4 fused modular frames and then 8 radio control units. I remember how long this took before... Use modular frame 4 per minute. Lovely. Radio control units. Per minute. Wow. Look how simple and innocent this recipe looks. It's about to ruin my day. It's about to ruin my day. I've said it. I've said it. The thing is that I've already done all the aluminium stuff. So in theory, rather than doing all the aluminium calculations, all I've got to do is just, let's say, 60 heat sinks, and that's it. There's no point me then doing 60 heat sinks, 120 alkaline aluminium sheets, and the copper ingots, and the aluminium scrap, and the alumina solution, and the bauxite. There's no point me doing all of that because I've already done it. It's finished. Comprehende. Plus. So there's no point me doing that. However, I still need to do the iron shenanigans. Because that's important. And power-wise, again, that's all fine. Radio control unit. Do I remember the recipe that I used? No. It's okay, I might have a screenshot. I've only got 3 functioning brain cells left, chat. Okay. Just to let you guys know now. We are running low on the brain cell front. All quiet on the brain cell fronts. That's my new movie coming out tomorrow. Browsing through all the screenshots. Yeah, fuck, is that a recipe? I don't know what recipe that even is. No, that's disgraceful. Okay, so I found the fused modular frame one. That's... Sure. Then... That's the last screenshot I took. Are you joking? I needed the next screenshot and then I'm actually gonna, like, cry in Cantonese. Right. It's not the end of the world. All I've got to do is boot open my last stream. Where is it? Live, I think it was. Don't be an ad. Don't be an ad. Yes! Oh, it is an ad. Back. Here we go. Oh, it's literally right there. Wait, okay, that's handy. Pressure conversion cube, radio control units. We're using quartz crystals, high-speed connectors, and heavy modular frames. Yeah. Heat sinks, I don't need to calculate. All I've got to put is 32 heat sinks. This is literally the recipe that I need. The reason why I can't copy and paste this over is because here I haven't done the machines and the power calculations. So I've still got to redo that. But now I know the recipe that I need. Honestly, this one stream saved me so much time. It's actually unreal. Like, generally unreal. I actually hate that recipe. I used it though, so I'm going to use it again. Right. Manufacturer. I'm going to man this facturer. The hell does that even mean? Radio Gaga. Again, just... It says here that I needed... Wait. I might have made a financial mistake that's going to cost me my last remaining brain cells here, chat. On the stream, it said that I needed 8 radio control units. Here I've only calculated... Oh. I was right. I thought I only calculated 4, so I thought for a second all of this was off by, like, double. But no, it's just... Okay. Can you imagine? I would have... Actually, I would have just redone it, to be fair. I would have not complained and just well, I would have complained for the first minute, then just redid it anyway. So, quartz drying in a stall. I should say 96. We'll double check that though. How many do I want? 8. Yes. Recipes. High speed connectors 16. Right. It's not bad. And lastly, we then need 32 heat sinks, which of course I've already made. So, fun. I think what I'm going to do for this one is actually turn it into a triangle, which will signify I've already built it. Oh, wait. I need to redo all of it. Because if I'm going to be turning this into a best recipes video, I can't just say I've already built it. I've got to state... I've got to redo it all again, don't I? Oh, man. Yeah. Even though I'm already producing this in my world as we speak. I don't know the exact power it's going to that it consumes anymore. I've got to redo all of that. Radio connection unit recipe. That's alright. That's just added an extra 30-40 minutes easily onto this. Like, not this one recipe in particular, but it's the fact I have to do this for every one of these recipes now, because there's tons of aluminium involved. And just calculating all of that takes so long to do. Trust me, because I've been doing it for months. Well, 32. So we'll put you over there, put you over here, then put you over there. I think when it comes to this, the plutonium waste, we still got to do all of the plutonium calculations and all of the uranium calculations as well, which is easily going to be double, triple what I've done over here. We've still got a lot more left to go. And we've already been live for 2 hours. That's definitely going to be either off camera or Sunday stuff. Yeah. Maybe make a separate spreadsheet for the best recipe series and one for your playthrough. I will be doing that. After I record the best recipe video, I'm just going to like remove everything down there essentially. I won't need it anymore. As of right now, I need this. So I'm going to need 3 manufacturers. Yep. And we are going to be consuming 110 megawatts for 200%. To 123, roughly 123 megawatts. It won't be exact, but it's pretty close. $118, okay. There we go. Now let's do the quartz crystal stuff, because I feel like that's not too bad to do. No, I want all of you to move over here a little bit. Give us a bit more room. There we go. Okay, quartz crystal. This is what you're going to need. It's not the right amount. In fact, it's going to be a lot less than this, which is nice. So none of you are actually lining up with that. Let's try and fix that. That's the first mistake fixed. There we go. Lovely. That should be pretty good now. I don't know how low you've got to be. Around about there. A little bit lower, in fact. There. Oh, there you go. It snapped automatically. Great. Now 96 quartz crystals. Yes. So we're going to need 2 refineries. It's not bad. Makes a change. I was expecting 400 refineries for this one. And the copper... Oh, did I say copper power rather than copper powered? Refinery of 2... Okay, 55 megawatts. Nice. It's roughly 124 raw quartz. Not too bad. And 69, we'll go 70 water. If it was like 49, 59, 69, 79, just round it up. Makes it a bit easier. Again, especially with liquid logistics, which is never normally easy to do anywhere. Never normally simple. Now, I haven't done a high-speed connector recipe yet, have I? No, because I slightly changed my last recipe. So that's completely fine. Let's do the high-speed connector. Then we'll do the heatsink. Then we'll see what time that takes us to. So if I can get everything here done, all I've got to do tomorrow is the project conversion cube and all the plutonium stuff, which is going to be rather challenging, but I feel like that could have its fun elements. I say tomorrow. I might just continue it off camera straight away. Let's do it. High-speed connector. I believe I make you lot in here, don't I? And the recipe I've chosen... I feel like it has to be the basic, right? Surely. I might have some screenshots of this. Let me just double check. High-speed connector. I chose a silica recipe. What? I'm guessing again that saves me on Caterium, but I just don't... Interesting. So for this recipe, I would need roughly 90 quick wire. For this recipe, I would need 48. Okay, so there is a massive difference. 480, sorry. There is a big difference. Then, do I want to get 200 silica? And even more silica while I was using this as well. I mean, if that's what I've calculated, I'm not going to stray too far from it. Again, 480 compared to 900. So it's a question of, do I want to use double the quickwire? Which, by the way, 900 quickwire. How much is that setting us back? 75. $150 Caterium ore, which in theory is actually only 75 Caterium because I have to make half of it anyway. Then I save a bunch of quartz. I'm gonna change another recipe here. Future me might regret this. Also, I'm still only on my webcam. There we go. Future me might regret this, but not as much quick wire. I've got tons of. It's one of those recipes that is just so. Both of them offer you different things, essentially. It's not a case of one recipe is better than the other, it's a case of which one do you want to burn. If I go with this bottom recipe, I use a lot of silica. So I'm already using a lot of. The circuit boards are the exact same, that's not even part of the question. Let's just do some silica stuff here for a minute. That's going to be roughly 200 silica. Which is an additional 120 raw quartz, which is not really that much. So it's either 120 raw quartz or 75 Caterium. I think I'm just going to go with the basic. Because cable, I can make that very easily in my iron factory. The reason why I've gone with this, even though it requires a lot more quick wire, that's fine, because quick wire for me at least would be very easy to produce. I'm planning a mega factory for quick wire, my electrics, like next door to my electronics factory, so that's not a problem. Cable, very, very simple to make. I'm using the iron wire recipe, so I can make that in my iron factory. And circuit boards, I'm still using a little bit of silica, but a lot less than before, so I think I am just going to end up going with that. Does it particularly matter? I don't think it's going to change my playthrough at all, but it's a recipe which I'm personally, I think, going to prefer. Let's just crack on with it. Power-wise, we are going to need five manufacturers. Damn. Ideal, but oh well. And 4.3 times by 55. Okay, so that's roughly 237 megawatts. If we need 4.3 manufacturers, each manufacturer is 55 megawatts. 4.3 manufacturers times by 55 megawatts is 237 megawatts. That's why I do those calculations. Very simple stuff, but I thought I'd explain it just in case you have just tuned in and wondered where's that number just come from. Okay, let's do it. Let's go! Speaking about bloody Let's Go, by the way, I haven't talked about this on the channel yet. The Switch 2. The Switch 2 got announced. Never before in my life have I cared less about a console. If I'm being, like, brutally honest. I'm sure it's going to be great. I've seen some trailers on it. The pricing, I think, is astronomical. Nintendo Switch games are nothing special. Especially the Pokemon games. I'm a big Pokemon fan. So I'm not being, like, biased against Pokemon. Having said that, though, some of the Pokemon games I've released, even recently, just don't look that good. And the price tag is rather expensive as well. Especially compared to other games released on the Switch, Pokemon is really lacking. They can always blame it on the tech, but it's not the tech, it's just the way that they design their games. I think the new Mario Kart looks great. Do I think an $80 US price tag or a $90 US price tag for the actual copy of it is justifiable? I personally don't think so. However, I like some of the things that they are adding to that game. I think it can be good fun. Am I going to be getting it? No. Unless Nintendo sponsors me, which, why would they? I would absolutely say yes, I'll give it a whirl, I'll give it a stream. Again, there's a higher chance of the aliens visiting the White House tomorrow. Even if they did, the aliens would probably get tariffed anyway. But yeah, the Nintendo Switch 2, it's looking decent. I won't get it personally. The new Mario Kart looks fantastic. I like the new open world feature they've gone for. But again, is that going to convince me to get the console? No. Also, they had the absolute chutzpah to charge money for the tutorial, like the actual in-game tutorial built into the Nintendo Switch that teaches you how to use a Nintendo Switch. That costs money, apparently. So it's built into your device, it's there, but you've got to pay extra money to actually use it. Like, for example, PlayStation had Astrobot, which now they've released a separate Astrobot game, which does cost money, but the original Astrobot on the PS4, at least, was free. And it was actually really, really fun. They probably saw that and thought, we can make a good penny from that. Of course, I'm sure they will. Okay, let's start here with the cable. We are going to need quite a sizable chunk, 160 cable per minute. It's essentially a game manual. A tutorial. You're paying money for a tutorial. Yeah. I'm just thinking now, what if someone films themselves on the Nintendo Switch doing the tutorial, then uploads it to Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Twitter, whatnot, right? X. Can't you just watch them do it and save yourself the money? I'm sure the same can be said for every game, right? But as in, like, that is designed to be a tutorial. Like, you're watching Satisfactory, well, this isn't really a Satisfactory stream, but let's say you're watching Total War Rome 2. You're not watching a tutorial, you're watching someone play the game. That's very, very different from a literal tutorial that you have to pay for. Maybe they're gonna, like, go back on that decision because I think that's a terrible idea, personally. Anyway. I'm dying today, man. Okay, wire. Need 320 wire. And... right, okay. I've got to do 4 times... 4 times... 53? That can't be right. 5.4. Roughly 22 megawatts there. So, constructor, 6, 22 megawatts. There we go. And with the Switch 2, you can buy a subscription for... yeah. That's one thing I've never liked about the Nintendo Switch, is the online subscription thing. I know that PlayStation does it as well, and I really don't like it. I don't think you should pay money to be able to play online. Because a lot of these games are advertised as being online games. Like, you wouldn't buy a game like... Call of Duty then play it offline, because the whole point of things like Warzone, for example, is that it's an online game. Unless you do private servers, but that I don't think works either. Unless you can do a private game of just bots, and I'm sure that would work. So they know that the majority of PlayStation users are going to want to go online. Yet they still lock it behind a paywall. Isn't Sony Japanese as well? Sort of like Japanese being stingy with their consoles, because Nintendo's obviously Japanese, isn't it? Wait, let me just double check. Just before I get this wrong, I'm pretty sure America has something to do with it. Okay, yeah, Nintendo is Japanese. And then Sony is also Japanese. Sony, of course, makes PlayStations. Wait, Sony was founded in 1946 in Tokyo. So you're telling me a year after they had 2 atomic bombs dropped in their country, they then founded Sony? Fair play. Maybe that's what we need, actually. No. Maybe that's how you make Britain great again. The atomic bombs. That's how we can make good companies again. Rather than selling all of our companies to countries who don't particularly care much about the country. Like Qatar. Oh well. That's fine. What was I doing? I was doing something. Oh yeah, 320 wire. Let's do that now. We're making rice cookers. Oh, nice. I do love a good rice cooker. If that is legit. I don't know if they were. So you require, damn, 180 roughly. 180 iron. Ingots. Yeah. Go with that. And that is, oh dear, 14.3. So that's roughly 60 megawatts there as well. We'll go 58. Yep. That 15 constructors to make that. Damn. I just clicked in my head right there and then by the way. Look at when Nintendo was founded. I've always envisioned like Nintendo was somewhere in like the 70s or 80s. I don't know why. When was Nintendo founded? Well, I mean, I was right, but I was off by about 100 years. It was the 80s, but it was 1889. Japanese playing cards. From the Portuguese carta. I'm actually quite surprised that Japan has got like a small Portuguese influence, by the way. That is surprising. I forgot the exact reason as to why there is a Portuguese influence, but I think it's something to do with like slave trade. I think. I could search that up again. Why does Japan have a Portuguese influence? Portuguese trade. Oh, okay, it's actually traders. Oh, they actually found them by accident. Nice. Imagine just finding Japan by accident. What lucky Portuguese seamen. That's what they're called. Okay, it doesn't matter. I didn't know Japan's Catholic. Well, maybe not Catholic. Well, it says there. Portuguese cuisine and cooking techniques, including the use of frying and spices, had a notable impact on Japanese food. Never would have thought of that. Inspiration for tempura and other dishes? Damn. Why am I've gone down a rabbit hole here, haven't I? Portugal influences. Portugal cuisine, cooking techniques, including the use of... Oh, I've already read that. Portugal impact. Portuguese influence expanded to art, literature, and other aspects of Japanese culture, with the term nanban being used to refer to the Portuguese and their goods. Ah. Interesting. Anyway, that was... I mean, those Portuguese sailors got blown off course and landed in Japan. I got blown off course with Satisfactory content, and now we're getting back into it. I was trying to make a segue there. 58 megawatts. How many iron ingots is that? 180. Plinko games. Oh, here's another rabbit hole. What's Plinko games? All right. Japanese as well. Wow. 180. I'm massively off course here. Let me just do this very final calculation. We'll then end off with a game of GeoGuessr to reward myself for surviving this. Okay. A lot of these recipes today haven't really involved iron, and I'm rather surprised because when I was doing my last, like adding up all that sort of stuff, there was tons of iron involved with all these recipes. Yet this time I don't really feel like there is a lot. 97 iron ore. And 56 water. 390, roughly 85 megawatts. Three of them, 85 megawatts. Because yeah, we only need around about 180. So that's not too bad. So this is what we managed to get done today. We've almost finished this recipe, which is good. We still do the quick wire, circuit boards, and heat sinks. I'll probably end up doing that off camera. Then that. So there's still a lot more to do here. And it doesn't look like we got a lot done, and that's because we technically didn't. The reason why this took so long is because of we have to try and calculate all the power. But the reason why I'm doing this, though, is because if I don't do this, it's very hard to say if the recipe is worth it or not. Sure, you can base it on a rough estimate of power consumption, and then time, and then resources. But I feel like having an exact power consumption chart gives us a much better understanding of how much power you're actually using. So that's the reason as to why I've done that. Just make sure this is definitely saved. Okay, I think it is. I'm going to close it down. Hopefully that's saved properly. Now let's try and get some GeoGuessr in. There we go. Yeah, we'll do this to end off with a little bit of fun. Oh, never mind. I've been logged off. Let's log back in again. There we go. We are level 39, by the way. Damn. Let's freaking go. Let's do a very quick game of Guess the Flag, and we'll do some random rounds there as well. Nitro rocket fuel. Yeah. It is just a very good recipe. Flags of the world. That's the one. Let's go, let's go, let's go. This just looks like somewhere in South America. Is that the flag of Bolivia? I actually don't know. I feel like this isn't found on Colombia or Venezuela. So I'm going to go La Paz. Ecuador. Well, at least it wasn't Venezuela or Colombia. This is Iraq. Although that's not the flag of Iraq. I'm still gonna go Iraq. I think that's the flag of the Iraq military, though. I think. I don't know why I'm looking in Europe. My brain just didn't work there. Let's go Baghdad. It could be actually. Should we go Iran? Let's go Iran. That could be a pretty bad mistake there on my part. Well, welcome Seb. Hope that you're doing well. Beck. Hope that you're doing well, man. You're working on the first nuclear plant that makes 7.2 rods per minute. But you got sidetracked making 7,200 quick wire per minute. Yeah. The thing is, we're doing those types of factories is that there's always big, small projects that go into it to then make the big project. So yeah, it's all just a bit confusing, a bit difficult, but It's all worth it in the end, hopefully. It was the flag of Egypt, it just didn't look like Egypt. So tons of French flags over there. Obviously, we're not in France. There's a Swedish flag. Why is there a Swedish flag here? And then a coat of arms or something. Hotel de la Collective. This translates into Hotel of the Collective. No. Liberty. Fraternite? Liberté. Egalite. Fraternite. Okay. Well, that sounded more German than French the way I pronounced it. So it's a French island. Dominique Republic? No. That's Spanish. Also, I was literally talking about the Dominican Republic a couple days ago. Then there was something in the news about some sort of like incident or accident in the Dominican Republic. I felt rather bad. Obviously I didn't jinx it. It was just, you know, 1 minute I'm talking about it, the next minute there's a problem with it. I can see French stuff. Let's go with. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. Beck. Where is you? Vitette? What's the city called, though? I can't see because the thing's in the middle of it. Let's go, chat. We're good at this game. This is the occupied part of Cyprus. There we go. Because it was the... I don't think it's... The only country in the world that recognizes that is, I believe, Turkey. But that was like the Turkish Cypriot flag, essentially. I always get this one wrong. I never get this one right. I don't think it's a do city. I don't. Okay, I got it right once. I want to do that again. Those first couple of... wait. Where is it? Show me your base. Where the hell is it? Monaco. Bloody hell, man. Is it north of Nice? Oh, there we go. Oh, this is definitely Monaco. I've had this one before. $14 meters away. It's an Arab country. Qatar? I should know that sheikh. I think that's the sheikh of Qatar. I'm not confident though. I'm really not confident with that. Can't read what that says. I thought that man was moving. That gave me a heart attack. No, he's not moving. I really do not know. I feel like I've seen this in Qatar, but I can't tell. I really cannot. It might be Bahrain. I don't know. We've had a guess here for Qatar before. That's Bahrain. Okay, that's fine. We weren't massively far off. This is Croatia. Recognize that flag from FIFA. And of course, Croatia's Croatia. It was the wrong city, but oh well, I should have gone capital to be fair. Is that real life Satisfactory? It is, yeah, this is real life Satisfactory. The George Price Center for Peace and Development. Okay, so this country is nice and peaceful. It's obviously some sort of Caribbean or Pacific country. I'm gonna go with... Is it too... No, this is way too flat and open to be Tuvalu. Like, Tuvalu is like a very narrow and thin country. It's literally sinking. Hello, this is the German Coast Guard. What are you thinking about? Let's go Nauru. Just delete me off the earth at this point. That could be Slovenia, Slovakia, or Russia. Again. And again, okay. But considering this country's got a bunch of EU flags, I'm gonna go with either Slovenia or Slovakia. I'm gonna go Slovenia. If it's Slovakia, I'm ending stream. I'm doing one more until we... No. Wait, where is this one? I knew where this was. I've had it before. It's not North Macedonia, is it? It's not North Macedonia. I've had it before. I'm gonna go North Macedonia anyway. Restart. I'm gonna try and get a perfect score. Screw it. Finish it up. Boom. Place me inside of the capital. President Snow, I'm inside the capital. This is Atlantis. Right. Wait. Wait. It is, but what? What the hell was that? What the hell was that? I mean, I don't recognize that building at all. That's not there. This isn't here. That's not there. This is not Dubai. But it's got the UAE flag. And how the... I don't know what they're smoking. Abu Dhabi? You've got a second Atlantis in Abu Dhabi? How have you done that? They're rich. Why have they got two Atlantis? The Republic of Ireland. Go Dublin. Even though, of course, Limerick's the best county, but I won't question it. There we go. That was actually a really good guess. Armenia. Ooh. There we go. I'm confident with that one. We got the first one wrong. I thought we started a new round. Feck. It counted the North Macedonia guess. Oh, that's actually ruined my entire day. Oh, I love golden retrievers. Look at you. I love dogs. I freaking love dogs. If I'm seeing that in public, I'm giving it a hug. Probably not. I'm a bit antisocial. Oh, it's one of the... Oh. Do you guys think it might be Argentina? I don't know. Just a quick guess. It might be Argentina. If this is anything but Argentina... Good. We had this the other day. Didn't we say it was like... No, it's not Nauru, is it? It began with T. Not Marshall. Screw it. It's not here. I don't know where it can be. Cook Islands. Damn it, man. I should have got that. Iran. Right? Iranian flag. Looks like we're in some sort of desert. Unless that's the flag of Kurdistan. It's not, if it was the flag of Kurdistan, there would be a symbol there in the middle. That's not officially recognized as a country though. I'm still going to go Kurdistan, which I believe is North Syria. don't think they have a capital. But it wasn't the flag of Iraq, so that must have been Kurdistan. I'm going to count that one. I'm going to count it. I can't see a flag. Potential Indonesia guess, though. Or Philippines. There's tons of English around. Like, writing, at least. I'm gonna go Philippines. I don't see a flag. Where is that? What country is that part of? I'd love to know. Oh, the thing blocks it. Fair enough. Any of you know who this man is? Neither do I. It's not Mongolia. That's not the flag of Mongolia. No, the flag of Mongolia is blue, red, and I believe a very similar icon to that, I think. Kazakhstan is a cyan background with a very similar shape, I think. So I'm going to go one of the stans. Kyrgyzstan feels right. Vanuatu? How was that? Unless that was like the last place I was in. It's definitely a stun. Absolutely. I think it's a... Yep, yeah. Right. Thank you everyone for watching. I really do enjoy playing GeoGuessr. I wish I was better at the game. But it was nice having that just to cool down and towards the end of the stream. Regardless, thank you very much for the 9 likes on today's stream. That's very much appreciated. And for the 200 people that ended up tuning in across the stream. I do want to try and do a little bit more GeoGuessr. I don't know when I'll do that. I do want to try and continue that recipe, most likely off camera. Probably do another stream dedicated towards that. But regarding the poll, we had 41 votes. 39% of people winning the poll said uranium fuel rods. Then biomass came in second with 29%. I wish I can find a way, like, who voted for that, so I can just, like, perma-ban them from the channel. Not joking. So you're entitled to your opinion. It might be wrong. That's okay. And then 20% said Fixonium and 12% said plutonium. Interesting. So thank you to everyone who voted on that poll. But regardless, and again, thank you to everyone who tuned in for today's stream. There will be a video going out tomorrow and potentially a stream on Sunday. Infinitely better than I am? No, it's just a little bit of practice. I do love, like, geography games. I'm just not great at it. I could watch, like, tutorial videos, but that's like my time to relax. That is my time to relax. Yeah, regardless, thank you very much to everyone who tuned in. Have an amazing rest of your day, and remember, Godspeed.